Hello and welcome back to the Unrehearsed podcast. It is your host, Giselle, and this week reminded me that you don't get to control anything. We had a really happy Easter, happy belated Easter to anybody who is out there celebrating or was out there celebrating Easter this Sunday. We did a very quick park uh, picnic, and it was really cool to see my niece. She's like, I want to say she's like 18 months now. But it was cool to see her, go and run around and pick up the eggs off the floor. And, it's always Easter as like the park holiday when you go and you do your barbecue or you go hang out with family on the outside. Um, that is so for the kids, and I love to see it. It was a really funny little twist when my brother were loading everything up into the car. Um, and my brother kicked one of the eggs that was just laying on the ground, because people, were leaving or whatever. He kicked one of the eggs, and in it was the $100 bill. And I remember Matt being like, "That's like so much for the kids. Like, what do you mean you're putting like $100 bill in the Easter eggs?" And I was like, I remember we used to do that for the kids like every year. Like there was one. I mean, we're not filling like 15 eggs with like $100 bills. But every like one always had one. And I remember we used like a gold egg one year. And you just mix them up and you just go and you put them out, and whoever gets it is the lucky one who gets $100 that year. Um, but it was a really nice. The weather was perfect. Being outside when the weather is starting to thaw and warm is the best. I'm starting to feel, like, alive, like, I could actually do stuff outside now. Taj's birthday is this week, so please, please, please send all of your happiest of birthdays, to our girl Taj, and I miss you. Please come back. I know she's been super busy with a lot right now, so it is a very, very happy birthday wish from us to our girl. Hopefully I'll see her sometime this week so that we can celebrate at least a little bit. But I'm not even gonna tell you how old she is. I'm gonna let her tell you when she gets back. But I've been like, it's like that one song was it's like, "Baby, come back." That's how I feel about you, Tosh. Please come back. I miss you. But I also have a very quick and very exciting announcement. Next week we are going to have a guest on the podcast. I met her through the Ora Latina event that we went to, or that I went to a couple. It's been a few weeks. I want to say almost a month now. It's been a little while. But she is super cool. You are absolutely going to love her. But we are really excited to have her on this coming week. So look out for that. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. We had a lot of emotions in one day. I was like, feel like I've been saying that a lot. I feel like there's been a lot of like up down craziness going on. The year of the horse has been kind of dragging me. But we had a wedding and a death in one day. And that was difficult. um, a lot of things I feel like it put a lot into perspective, because it was like, someone's happiest day, um, and someone's very, very saddest. And I feel like that really, I remember we were driving back from the wedding, and I just remember telling Matt, I was like, literally anyone in the world, like literally anywhere in the world, um, you might be having your worst day and somebody else will be having their best day. And it's just like your life is just one in a really big number. And it was really hard to juggle, really happy group, like just excitement and, just love seeing your friend get married, or anyone get married, and just like being able to be there for that and watching them glow is got to be like the best feeling ever. But just having that heaviness in the back of your mind of like, wow, like it's like the duality. It was like the absolute duality that day. And it doesn't take away from one or the other. I feel like in life, the balance is always there. Sometimes it's sometimes it goes a little to one side, and then the other, times you're a little bit on the other side is not, exactly always like balanced. But I feel like it will always kind of go back and forth between the two. I feel like you're never on one side for too long. But it was um it was a really interesting thing for me to show up and be able to just kind of put the heavy thing down for a little while. It's not always the case. That's not always the case where you can, put something down that's heavy like that just for a while. But I remember when I was going through my midwifery training, my instructor actually said she was telling us a story about how when she was a midwife, or she was, actively a midwife, she at one point she said it was really difficult for her because she was going through a divorce, um just a lot, right? There was a lot going on in her life at that point in time, and she got called to a birth that she had been working with a client with, and it was time. And at that particular point she said, like, I really didn't think that I could do it. I think that it was just so heavy. It was so heavy. There was too much going on. Um, and I just remember telling myself, okay, I'm going to take everything that I'm going through, all of the feelings and all of the things, and I'm going to put it in this suitcase. And I'm going to take the suitcase and I'm going to leave it at the door before I go in to this birth. And she said that visualization was what got her through a lot, because there are times where your life just feels like an absolute crazy mess. And there is something on the other side of a door that requires your full attention and that requires you. And I felt like yesterday was one of those things, where I had to tell myself, put it in the bag and put it to the side for a few, for a few. It will be there waiting for you when you get out. Um, but just you could put it aside. And that was one of the things. I feel like that was a day. That was a day where I was just like, whoa, like, okay, like things can be very heavy. And you can also be extremely happy, um, for someone you love, or for, a friend or a family or whoever. Like, there are people who were giving birth that day. There were people who were getting their, dream job that day. Um, it was such a weird perspective to kind of it put a lot into perspective. And I feel like one of those things was just how small in the grand scheme of everybody's life that your life feels. And another thing that was really present and that I heard somewhere was that the cost of love is grief. And that was very present yesterday. I feel like it took a little bit for me to just kind of put things into perspective and just kind of be like, okay, um, here I have my friend who is getting married. Um, and she absolutely loves her husband. Um, and at one day, one day, someone is gonna have to pay for that, right? And it's just like nothing in life is free. Um, Not life, not death, not love. Everything comes at a cost, and that also is a balance, right? I mean, like, when something kind of falls off, it will kind of it will kind of come back the other way. And I think that we don't talk about that trade-off enough. I feel like the trade-off of love and the trade-offs in general. Let's just start there. I feel like everything will always come at a cost. And, sometimes it's, I think that for the most part, most people are willing to pay the cost, right? We all have friends. We all have family. We all have kids and loved ones and, people that we bring in close to our circle. And I think that that is the unsaid thing. That's one of those times, some of those times, one day, one situation, like you are willing to pay the cost of a loss. Um, I think there was a divorce attorney on TikTok. I'm sure some people have seen him, who says that everyone is going to lose their significant other either through, you know, for their own reasons or through death. But either way, like you're gonna lose somebody, and it's just like we all put ourselves through those situations where it's just like you don't maybe it's like getting a pet. God, oh God, it's like getting a pet. And you get a pet and you love your pet. I loved my dog Warwick. Um, and he had been with me for 13 years. And when you get your dog, your cat, your whatever, you love that thing and you have it present in the back of your mind somewhere deep inside that one day you will outlive that pet. Um, but you're willing to kind of, and I can't even say gamble because it is an inevitability that it is going to happen. But you are willing to do that work and deal with that pain for the trade-off of love, of companionship, of all the beautiful things that come with owning a pet. There was a another person that I remember listening to a video about that said, if I offered you this much money for your pet, would you take it? And they were like, absolutely not. There's no way. They're family, right? That's my dog, like that's my cat, that's whatever. Like I would never. And the person posing the question said, okay, what if I told you that the pet will die in a month? Like, would you then sell me your pet for this amount of money? And the response was, "It would make me want to take the money less because at that point, the time is more valuable. The time you have left is more valuable." Um, and I feel like that's a lot. Like, that is a lot of to just say, like, the finite amount that we have on this planet, in this life, it's finite. We don't like, it's not infinite. We're going to all die at some point. Um, and that should make our life so much more valuable. So much more valuable. And I feel like a lot of the times you forget. Um, and you have things like this, little reminders that happen, and you can take those reminders and really put it in the forefront of your life. Or you can take those reminders and just kind of shove it somewhere back in the back of your head and try to forget. Um, but it doesn't change the reality that your time will end at some point. Your family's time will end at some point. Your tomorrow is never promised. Um, and you can take that and to keep living your life the way that you want to, and whatever, do sit on the couch and rot away and hold a grudge and not say what you want to say, and but it's not going to change the fact that that you will die. And I feel like that, it always goes back to that whole like live fully idea, that like if you live fully and you have that as your purpose, that I'm going to do every single thing that I want to do. I'm going to say everything that I need to say. Say the things that matter. Say the things that bother you. Say the things that really truly like weigh heavy on your heart. Um, because again, like life is not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Tomorrow that person may not be there. Tomorrow, you may not be there. And I feel like when you have little reminders like this, I hope that it does shake that feeling in you that you should do everything you can. Do everything you can. Live your life as free as you can. Love endlessly because you cannot take that with you. But those people who you did give those experiences to, that love to, that moment, they're gonna carry it forever. I think that that is a um that is a really important thing. I hope that we all just kind of keep that in mind. That life is life is funny. Life is funny, and it's not in a funny haha way, but it's just like sometimes I just like I think, and I'm like right now I'm getting like twisted because it's just that's how complicated it is. It's like people say that life is simple. It's not simple. I mean, some things might be simple. Some things might, be easy, and like the decision might seem like a no-brainer. But when you really look at life and like how many twists and turns we do to avoid things or to like, kind of try to skirt around something. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, is it worth it? Like in the end, is it worth it to like push all these things off to the side when you could just do it now, when you could experience it now, when you could like have it now and really just kind of go for it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will get to the end of my life and I'm like, what? I'll be like, what the hell is she talking about? But I don't know. I've been struggling with that a lot, where it's like sometimes I find myself carrying things, and I'm just like, can you just put this down? Can we just put this down? Can we put it in the bag and just leave it at a train station? And then take that freedom that will give you and go live life. Like, put it like, it can be there. It will probably nobody wants your extra baggage. It will be there forever if you want to pick it back up. But could you just leave it? Could you just leave it and continue on living, loving, experiencing? I feel like the more that these things happen, the more that good and bad and complicated things and tricky things, emotions that come up happen to me, the more I feel that it drives me it will always push me further and further into that I'm going to live the absolute best life that I possibly can. And that doesn't necessarily mean, like spa days every day, like let's go like trip around the world. Like it might involve some of those things. Um but I think at the root of it is just being a good person, being contributing to the world, contributing your not, it doesn't need to be complicated. This doesn't need to be complicated. Contributing love, contributing laughter, contributing, that energy, just good energy to shift into this world into a better place, into a place of happiness, a place of, the hey, that person is really cool. They made me smile. Like that is also kind of what I mean by live fully. Is just don't keep your gifts to yourself. Like in and we can even expand on that. I mean, like you keeping your gifts to yourself is not just, that guy's really funny or, that girl's really smart. Like this, it's the things that you can create. Like there are so many people that have such amazing ideas for all kinds of stuff, beautiful art, beautiful music, beautiful poetry, um, things that can contribute and that can move people. I think that keeping all of that to yourself because you're scared that you're going to get judged or nervous that, someone's going to not like it, Like, don't why? Why? Like, go, do it. Forget the rest. It doesn't matter. Like, who cares what that person has to they will be somewhere else. I can guarantee you, paying attention to something else because that's just life. I mean, like, I feel like we all get so caught up in like these feelings of like fear and these feelings of inadequacy, but in reality, does it really matter? Like, someone else out there is going to see that, is going to hear it, feel it, enjoy it, whatever, and that person is gonna remember you for that moment, for what you gifted the world, for what you gifted that moment, for what you gifted everybody. That person is going to be thankful that you did that one thing, that you brought that one thing to life, um, and it's not it's I try to I mean, honestly, consumerism is real, right? Like, everyone wants to go take the trip and go, "I'm gonna go live my life to the fullest, I'm gonna go jump out of a perfectly good plane." But it's not just that. It's offering and giving the most of yourself also. I feel like that's really important. If you have love to give it. If you have jokes to share it. Like, if you have energy to help somebody, do it. That is kind of what I mean by live life fully. Um, and yeah, take the trip. Take the trip. Go eat the food. Like, go enjoy yourself. Go dance the night away. Um, but also, take a moment to look around and to share your gifts and to help others and to be united. Just be together. And say the things, not even just the bad things, like, getting it off your chest. It's the good things, telling people that you love them, telling people that they meant a lot, telling the people that you appreciate them. Um, don't assume that anybody knows. I feel like, that's also a thing, like where I don't need to say it. It's just this unspoken language that we have. It's this unspoken, bond that we have. And that may be true. I don't necessarily tell my brother that I love him all the time. He's annoying. I can tell you that he's annoying. I've told him that he's annoying. Um, and I know my brother knows that I love him, but it's important to say it too. So I love you, even though you're kind of annoying and like to make fun of me a lot. But it's just saying, I don't know, I feel like it's a complete circle, right? It's a whole. It's not just one little piece. It's not a sliver of a pie. It when live fully really does encompass everything. And I think that that's just something that we really need to keep in mind, and we need to be intentional. We need to be intentional about it. And I hope that this serves as your reminder to live intentionally, live fully, say all the things to all the people that matter. Um, we will be here next week. Uh, I love you all, and I will catch you in the next one. Mwah! See you later.